All right, and we will kick things off. So welcome to the Beanstack training. As I mentioned, this is being recorded for those people who are not able to attend live. To get us started, would love for the people who are here live today to just share quickly in the chat your name and library. And then just like to see kind of where everyone is at in terms of their Beanstack skills. So on a scale of 1, with 1 being I'm brand new, I've never seen Beanstack, and 5 being I'm an expert. Feel free to drop that in the chat just so we can see kind of where we're all starting at. And while you're doing that, I'll just say hello. My name's Kat. I've been here for about 2 years, and prior to working here, I was a public librarian, mostly working in youth services in the US and New Hampshire, where I live. And I am very excited to be working with all of you. So we have a few things to go over today. Penelope shared some things that might be helpful based on your feedback, and then just kind of some Beanstack basics. So we're going to talk over the user experience, staff experience, how to add a drawing to an ongoing challenge, how to look at reports and insights, just some key things you might want to look at, and then upcoming updates. And we will have time for questions and answers throughout the session as well. So feel free to use the chat. I have it pulled up, or you can also come off mute. We are a small enough group as well. So feel free to come off mute if you would like. And with that being said, before I dive into the content I had planned, if there's any questions that you have coming into this training, please also drop those in the chat, because I really want to make sure that I answer any questions that you all are bringing today as well. So please share that in the chat as well. All right. So exciting update before we dive into the content. We here at Beanstack have joined forces with Comics Plus, and we are now the Joyful Reading Company. Very exciting. You are a library system that has Comics Plus and Beanstack, which is great. So what is next? What's changing for you? The answer is not really anything. We're one company now, but we have 2 separate products. So there's no change in access for your patrons or for you all as library staff. Down the line, within the next few months, we are working on integration that would allow readers to connect their accounts so that any reading they do in Comics Plus would track towards Beanstack, but we will keep everyone updated as those changes roll out in the next few months. And for now, everything is staying the same. All right, let's take a look at the reader's experience. So why is it important to learn the reader experience? There's a lot of value in showing rather than doing. The goal really is to have more readers using the platform, which means less work for your staff. And empowered readers can log for themselves and their families. The way that reader accounts work in Beanstack, we kind of think of it like a car. So you have the driver of that car, that's the account creator. That's the person who was initially creating that account. Then you have passengers in the car. Those are the readers. So those are the individuals who are participating in the challenges. Now, you could have an account where the driver is the only one there. They are the account creator and the reader. Or you could have a family account where you have one person, typically an adult, who has created reader profiles for all of their family members, so everyone can participate in challenges together. Now, users in the reader experience can do most of the things they need to do on their own. They can create their own account, they can add readers, they can sign up for a challenge, they can view badges, they can view rewards, they can make their own edits to accounts like passwords and emails, and they can also view their entire reading history that they have logged in Beanstack. So there's a lot that readers can kind of do on their own, which is why we really encourage readers to do that on their own so that it's a little less time on you, and why it's important for you all as library staff to understand how that reader profile works. So let's take a look at what this actually looks like on your site. So I'm going to toggle over here to your Beanstack site. This is for your library. And when I am on my homepage, I have this option to register an individual or a family. It's first going to ask me if I have used Beanstack before. This is trying to catch any duplicate accounts. I'm going to say, no, I have not used Beanstack. And I can register myself or I can register a child. I'm going to go ahead and register myself. From here, I'm going to enter in my information. So this information includes my name, my email, my phone number, and you'll note here that the reason we need email and phone number is that if a reader earns a prize, you need a way to notify them of that prize. I'm going to set a password. Now, this is important. I'm going to enter in my primary library. This is so for you all, you know which of your users are using Beanstack. I'm also going to enter my age. Now, this is important here because the way that challenges work in Beanstack is that they are filtered down based on age. So if I say I'm 32, I'm only going to see adult challenges. If I say I am 17, I'm only going to see teen challenges. So if you do end up having challenges for different age groups, that's why that age there is important. And then I'm going to select my grade and then my local area here as well. I'll hit next. And I get to register for my first challenge. So I'm going to register for Spring into Reading. I've unlocked a registration badge. I can register for as many of these as I'd like. I'm going to hit next. And it's going to ask me if I'd like to add another adult. I'm going to say no in this case. Next, it'll ask me if I'm adding a child. I'll say yes. And because I've already created that initial account with the username and my email, my phone number, I don't need to put any of that information in again. Now I am just putting in information about that reader. So here I've created child information. And same thing, you'll notice here, 1,000 books is an option. That was not an option when I registered as a 32-year-old, but for my 3-year-old it is. So I'm going to register her for that. And now this question will continue to populate until I select no. So I can add as many readers on my account as I need to. I've completed that registration process, and here I am on my Beanstack homepage. I can see that right now I am on my reader profile. I can see the challenge that I've enrolled in, and I can see the challenges that are available to me. You'll also notice that there's an option for a challenge code. So if your library has a challenge that's running that you have set just for your patrons, you're going to share that challenge code with those patrons, and they can enter that in order to join that challenge. I'm going to switch over to my daughter's account. And now I can see all the challenges she's participating in, other ones that are available to her. I can click on that challenge to get some more info. So here I see I can earn badges as we read books together, up to 1,000 books. I can view my challenge log as I start to log. And to log reading, I'm going to select the log reading button up in the corner. Now I have a few options here. I can log without a title, or I could do a search for the title. So my 3-year-old has been very into Mercy Watson lately. I'm going to log this. And I can mark that I have completed one book. Maybe we read it 2 times, as often is the case. And I have just logged that reading. Now you'll notice when I go to log my reading, it was defaulting to the last reader I was on, Florence. I do have the option to select all of us if we're reading together. Or I could select just one of us as well. So that's a really nice feature for families who are reading together. I have the option here to edit any of my information. So maybe we move, I can change my local area. Maybe I change to a new library. I also have the option of editing account information. So maybe I have a new email address or I need to update my password. I'm able to do all of that from the reader side for myself. All right, any questions about the reader experience? And I do see your question in the chat about promoting Beanstack to patrons, so we can definitely chat about that as well. before the end of the call. But any questions about this reader experience? All right. Awesome. Let's go back to our, ooh. Oh, sorry. It's a little tricky here. There we go. Okay. All right. So we talked about the reader side. Let's talk about the staff side. So just went over all the things readers can do on their own. And there's a lot, right? They can pretty much do all the things they need to do. When are you going to use the admin side, the staff side? So if your library is running, for example, summer reading on this Beanstack site, which we of course hope that many of you do, you may have some readers who cannot access digitally for whatever reason, or they don't want to, and so they may have a paper log. But you want to enter those stats so that you have all your stats in one place. So that's a great example of when you might use that staff side. If you have rewards that are tied to your challenge, you're going to redeem those on the staff side. You also can add a drawing to an ongoing challenge. So if you wanted to do a monthly challenge for anyone who's in 1,000 books before kindergarten, for example, you could do that. You also can make quick edits for people. They, of course, can update any of their information, but sometimes people might just want a little help, and you can always do that for them or reset their passwords for them. So we're going to talk now mostly about staff actions, and then in our next section, we'll talk about some higher level admin actions like reports and drawings. So at the staff level, you are going to primarily be using the people search option, redeeming rewards, resetting passwords. As a former library worker, I know that feels like a big part sometimes of working the front desk, resetting passwords for people, and of course, creating or adding. All right, so let's go back on over. I'm actually now going to toggle to my test site so that we can take a look at some kind of test scenarios here. So on the staff level site, I'm logged in right now as an admin, so there's a lot I can see. Depending what level of access you have, you may only see this people tab. You may only see the people and reports tab. I'm going to go here to people. So maybe I have a reader come into the library and they let me know that they've earned a reward for summer reading. Very exciting. So I'm going to look up that reader's name. I'm going to click that redeem incentives button, and I can see all of the incentives this reader has earned a lot that have not yet been redeemed. So here they are. They are picking up all of these prizes. I'm going to check them off, hand them their prizes, and they're good to go. Now, if your library is running a summer challenge with rewards attached, this is a really important step because you want those statistics next summer when you go to order new rewards. You want to know how many people actually picked up their rewards, what rewards are most popular. That's really good data as you think about planning your summer budget for next summer. There are some other quick actions I can take here. So maybe I need to edit this reader. I could change age. I could change library, grade level. I also can edit the password for this account by selecting the edit right next to the account creator button. So I can hit edit here, and I could update that password for them. Readers can update their own password, but if they have completely gotten locked out and they forget their password, this is always a nice thing for them. You can reset. You'll notice that you're not able to view their password. That is not saved intentionally, but you can reset it to something like Beanstack, and then they can go in and reset it for themselves. You also here can log reading for a user. So maybe this is a family who is doing a paper challenge for summer, but I want to track those stats. So they bring in their paper log, and I'm going to log that this reader, whoops, just clicked out of that, has logged 5 books. And I've added that to their reading log, which then counts towards the summer challenge. I'm going to make sure here that they are enrolled in any challenge. All righty. Any questions about those quick links? Those are really the essentials for frontline staff actions, and we'll talk about reports and drawings here in a minute. Any questions about that?
So Kat, I've never seen this like in person on the on either side.
Yeah.
Um, is the idea with the rewards that they're always something that is administered by staff, or are there some that are like more badges that are kind of just delivered based on the type of challenge that's been set up?
Yeah, really great question. So, on the challenges that are available to the entire system, the ones that you set up, those don't
Yeah.
have rewards tied to them. Those have
Okay.
badges, digital badges. So, I am automatically earning those digital badges as I log my reading.
Okay.
The rewards would be something that an individual library might tie to, like a summer reading challenge. And that would be something I would physically come into the library to redeem along the way.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Um, there is also, to kind of do your question, Carla, if I click here, these quick actions are really going to give you most of the info you need. But if I click here on this reader's name, that's going to give me a whole bunch of other information about this reader. So I could see the badges that they have earned, for example. Um, I can see every single badge they've ever earned. I can see their reading log. I can see their activities that they've done, book reviews they've written. So it's all available to me on the staff side. As well for the reader to see on their own. Great question. Any other questions? All right. Awesome. See if I can. Now we're going to talk about some more admin level functionality, which are drawings and reports. So I just mentioned that with those challenges that Penelope is creating that are, these monthly challenges available to the whole system, a really fun way to encourage your readers to log their reading, engage with the library throughout the year. Those do not have rewards tied to them. However, as an individual library, you can absolutely set up a drawing for those folks. So you could say, we're running the spring reading challenge on the Beanstack site, and anyone who participates or anyone who completes is going to be entered into a drawing for a prize. And then you can actually set that up for your readers to give them some kind of motivation incentive to participate and drive engagement. These are specific to library. And the nice thing about this is that it's kind of in your hands how you want to notify those winners. So you are able to kind of do a redrawing if you have the same person winning every month, for example. So we'll walk through exactly what that looks like, but it's a really fun way to encourage your readers to participate year round. And Penelope, has all these great challenges up, so it's a great way to take advantage of those. The other thing that you'll want to think about are insights and reports. So Beanstacks, they have a lot of data in there. It's one of the great things about running a reading challenge through Beanstack is that you have so much great data to look back at year over year and evaluate your programs, show the impact of your programs in your library. There's kind of two tools you can use. Insights are nice for quick, at a glance, they're snapshots. They are updated once every 24 hours. And they're very filtered and customizable. So you can see some screenshots here. These are nice for, your director walks into the office and set your office and says, hey, how many people do we register this week? Quickly, I can pull this up. I used to send out screenshots of this to my team once a week so that they could see kind of how we were progressing over summer, kind of keep staff motivated throughout the summer. Now, reports are another data tool that you have, and these are much more detailed, much more granular. They're updated every 30 minutes, so they're always the most up to date. And they're really meant to be downloaded, viewed in Excel or Google Sheets. You can favorite them, schedule them, customize them. There's a lot you can really do to make them relevant to your library, your challenge. And this is what you should use if you're writing a grant or you're, giving a report back to your board. This is kind of the most up-to-date, detailed information. Now, because you are all sharing one site, we do have some reports that I would recommend over others. In general, any challenge that's filtered down, any report that is filtered down by challenge or by branch, it's going to say branch, in your case, library, is going to be probably your best bet because that's going to give you data just for your library. So we have the reader participation by challenge in branch. This is nice for, you want to say 1,000 books. This is open to anybody across the whole system, but you can really filter it down just to see the people who are at your library. So that's a great report. Challenge participation totals by year and branch. I really like this report for a nice overarching high level view. It's going to give you quick stats about total readers, total badges earned, minutes read, all of those statistics. And then we also have some additional branch reports. The branch participation totals is a quick look at progress and completion. And then the challenge reward totals by branch is another good one. So you can look in and see for any rewards that you have added to your summer challenges or any challenge you're running throughout the year. You can go in and see, okay, how many have been redeemed? How many are not redeemed? Again, as you're thinking about prize inventory for the next year. All right, so let's take a quick look over at drawings and reports. So, oops, I'm going to go back to my test site. So again, this is depending on the level of access that you have on your account. This reports and drawings are available to library staff plus branch admin. So just keep that in mind if you're not seeing that tab when you're looking. But the first thing I'm going to show you is drawings. So I'm going to toggle to challenges and then drawings. I'm going to create a drawing. And I'm going to give it a name. So I could call it Pat's Library Branch Spring 2026. And then I could say April drawing. I'm going to go for a general drawing. That's going to be all readers are eligible for the drawing. And then from here, I can filter down. Who do I want to include in this drawing? So first thing, very important, I'm going to select my library. Next, I'm going to select the challenge. So maybe I want to run something the end of April for that spring into reading challenge. On my site, I'm going to just choose this bingo one because I know I have people in it. So I'm going to select that challenge. Because I have that challenge selected, it's already going to be filtering out by age, so I don't really need to do that. Now, this is where I can kind of select. So right now, anybody who registered for that challenge is going to be in my drawing. That's great. Maybe I want to keep it at that. Maybe I want to do anyone who has completed the challenge. So I'm going to do specific badges and I'm going to choose my completion. Or maybe I say they can do as many, I just want them to have done at least 3 things. So, there's some options here. In this case, let's keep it to anybody who's registered. I'm going to select that I have just one winner. I could have multiple winners if I wanted. I'm going to hit save. Now I'll click here on the drawing. It's going to give me a list of every reader who meets those criteria. So you can see I have quite a good number here. I'm going to hit determine winners. And yay, Jessie has won. Oh, but maybe Jessie won last month. So I'm actually going to rerun, and now Brooke has won. So I'm going to send an email to Brooke and let her know that she has won the drawing for this month. So that's a really fun way, again, to encourage readers to participate year round. So there was a question in the chat earlier about promoting Beanstack. This is a really great way to do it. People love prizes. So if you have, a donation or something, even free books, put out a little display on the circulation desk, or maybe you have a book display with that prize. Let them know that you have a challenge running, and if they register and log their reading, that they get entered into this drawing. So that can be a great way to promote Beanstack, is with some kind of drawing or incentive. And you can just add it right on to these great challenges that are already running on the site. Yeah, awesome. That sounds good. All right, let's very quickly take a look at insights. I'm going to go back home by hitting this blue heart. Click on insights. And what I really want to point out here is that it will remember your filters from last time. This was great because once you select your library, you're probably not going to have to change it. Sometimes, if you're like me, you forget to reset the challenge or the date. So there's a lot of filtering you can do. I'm going to look at the month. I can look at readers who are in my challenges or overall readers on my site. I can look at a certain age, a certain challenge. I also can compare challenges to one another. So if I am looking at maybe this was last summer and I'm going to compare that to the summer before that, it's going to let me know, not a great example because I don't have many people registered, but oh, I had a big dip. So I might want to take a closer look and see what might have caused that. So another great tool. And just always remember to check these filters when you're looking at your insights. And then very quickly, I'll show you here reports. Um, Go ahead and favorite ones that you use often. Again, anything by branch is going to be a good one for you so that you can really filter that down just to your library. And with any of these reports, select my branch, I can edit the columns that I'm looking at. So if you don't need some of these things, I can uncheck. I also can schedule this to come to my email. So if you have a summer challenge running and you want to see data once a week, I could just set this to come to me every Friday at 3, and then it's in my inbox. I can get to it when I get to it. So that's a really nice feature as well. Any questions about that? All right. Amazing. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm not having a good time with the tabs today. Okay. We have a few product updates I'm excited to share. First one is emerging accounts feature. So this will allow admin to merge duplicate accounts to one account. I just saw about an hour ago a first like mock-up from our engineering team. It looks really good. And so that will be released before summer, within a couple of weeks. And what this does is when you have a user with 2 accounts, which may happen over time, you'll be able to merge them into one to kind of clean up your data. The other admin feature that we just are going to be releasing before summer is a Benny's Number Cruncher feature. So we just talked about reports and insights. This is a third data tool. There's a list of 10 questions, and you could very quickly see the answers to some commonly asked things. So one of them was, what percentage of readers completed my challenge? Or who is my top reader for this week? So that's another fun way to motivate your patrons too. You could highlight your top reader. You could give them a special prize, something like that as well. So this will be another tool that's coming out before summer. All right, so I am actually gonna do a quick little pause here. I have, now bear with me here because there's a really great question in the chat about promoting. This is from a different slide deck. So, but I did want to share a few ideas for how you can promote your challenges in your individual libraries. It says branch, but in your libraries. So a few ideas here. First, promote at all of your programs. So if you have book clubs, this is a great correlation because they're already reading, right? But at things like story time is a great place to promote 1,000 books before kindergarten, for example. So really building it into your start of the program little intro to remind people what challenges are running at Beanstack. I just mentioned this one, display prizes. So having that prize out on display for your monthly raffle, or if it's summer, for your summer prizes, is a great way to remind people what's going on and kind of show them what they can win. Of course, just having information posted around. We have quite a few marketing resources. Those monthly challenges are, we have marketing collateral available for that. I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. These are our marketing materials. So for that spring into reading challenge, for example, that's running right now, you don't need to go in and create anything new for flyers or for social media graphics. You can use what we have, share out on your social media pages, post around the library, also posting the QR code for the app. The mobile app is a really great way to encourage people to use Beanstack. They can have it wherever they go. And then these pictures here are two examples of some fun ways that libraries have promoted Beanstack in their buildings. So the one on the top with the axolotls, this is from another Canadian library. This is the Whitby Public Library. And I love it. This is from last year. They had a year-round challenge that was axolotl themed. This year they're doing ducks. Um, and they had as a competition kids versus teens versus adults. So once a week, the person who manages Beanstack at their library, his name is Jay, he would go in there and take a look at that insights page really quick, see how many minutes each of these age groups had read. And then he would add little tiny axolotl figurines into these jars. I forget the ratio, maybe it was like one axolotl is 100 minutes or whatever it was. So that when readers come into the branch, they can see very quickly, okay, first of all, what is this axolotl tank? Like, what's that all about? I'm going to scan that QR code to track my time. And this competition element, he said, really helped motivate readers, especially the kids. He said they got really excited about trying to beat their grownups. And spoiler alert, they did beat the grownups. I think this year it's looking like the same is going to happen with the ducks. This other example here in the bottom is from a library in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They have a trolley that runs in their neighborhood right next to the library. The library is a stop on the trolley. And so one summer they created these little trolley cars, and it's kind of similar idea. As the community was reading, for every X number of minutes that were read, they would add a new trolley car. So by the end of summer, they had this trolley car that kind of wrapped around their entire library, the circulation desk. And I really just like both of these examples because they're two ways that you can show readers in person what they can do online and kind of promote that digital program right in the branch as well. And then the other thing I'll mention to your question about promoting, kind of in tandem with promoting your programs, if your library is designing your own challenge with the challenge code, think about using activity badges to promote things that are happening in the library. So it kind of goes both ways. So you could have an activity badge that is visit the library. Maybe you have to go in once a week. There's a secret code word that your librarian is telling you to earn that badge. Maybe you have a activity badge that is check out books on Comics Plus. And they can learn about the resources that you have at your library. So it can kind of go both ways, really using Beanstack as a way to promote what you have going on, and then in your library, sharing out that's a bit. So that was kind of a last minute addition to the slide deck, but it's a really good question. So I'm glad you asked. Before I move away from this, are there any other questions? Or for those who are able to join live, any ideas for how you promote Beanstack in your library? Oh yeah, I'm glad those were helpful. Awesome. Okay. Let me go back to my original deck here. Okay. So to recap some of the things we've gone over today, if you are new to Beanstack, like I know some of you here are, take a few minutes, register for a reader account, and really understand how it works for a reader so that you can help your patrons. Remember that users can do a lot of their own updating and logging their own reading. And then adding that monthly drawing to an ongoing challenge or a monthly challenge is a great way to encourage use in your specific library. All right. We have quite a few other trainings that we have run over the past couple months that are a deeper dive into some of the topics we went over today. So we are running one in May, actually May 5th, about reports. That's a whole hour-long training about reports. We spent about 5 minutes on them today, but there's a lot there. And then we also have run a teen librarian roundtable, a staff buy-in webinar, one all about hybrid Beanstack and paper challenges, summer reading roundtable, and then frontline staff and library admin. So all of those we have run this year. Those are on our events page. I'll drop that here. And the other one I wanted to highlight too is that I think it was last April, we did a roundtable that was all libraries in Canada, all Canadian libraries. That is where we first heard of the axolotl challenge that was highlighted there. So that's another good one too, if you're curious what some of the other libraries nearby, um, how they're using Beanstack as well. All right, that is the end of the content I had prepared. We do have a couple extra minutes if there were any other questions I missed. Um, Feel free to come off mute or drop those in the chat. Otherwise, thank you all so much for your time and excited to see what you all do with Beanstack heading into summer this year.